You can now add Celebrity Apprentice to the list of businesses that Donald Trump has no interest in divesting himself from or separating himself from once he becomes president. MGM has confirmed to Variety that Trump has retained his executive producer credit on the series. Because, you know, it's like all well and good to be president, but you still want like a prestigious title. You want to be the executive producer. And it's like, it's great to have hobbies, but you really want like a passion project, something you can really put your heart and soul into. And furthermore, and bear this in mind when we go to Kellyanne Conway, one of his spokespeople, who is going to say otherwise, Trump's spokeswoman Hope Hicks confirmed that Trump has maintained a financial interest in The Apprentice. And the early estimates are that he will earn at least 5, if not 6 figures per episode when the show returns, likely with Arnold Schwarzenegger as its head.
So smaller point first, then the larger point. Smaller point is, I told you he's not worth $10 billion.
Yep.
Nobody's running after a $50,000 check if they're worth $10 billion.
No.
Especially when you become president and you're going to get yourself in trouble and conflicts of interest running after $35,000 if you got $10 billion. Me and you will run after $35,000. We'll run pretty hard, right? But for a guy who claims to be that rich, and second, his greed knows no bounds. So you're already president. You claim you're already a billionaire. You claim you have $10 billion. What more do you need? Now, gimme. I'm still going to be the executive producer of The Apprentice. Now, the larger point is, are you freaking kidding me? Just when I thought he couldn't shock me. It's over, dude. You're president. You're the most powerful man on earth. Okay, let's give you $1 billion. I don't think you have $1 billion, but let's give you $1 billion. It's enough. It's enough. And you're going to create this kind of a conflict of interest? So is NBC now going to get called on first at the White House press briefings? Because he's got a contract with NBC. He literally is going to get rich off of NBC. You thought the media was on Hillary Clinton's side. He's literally in the media. He has a deal with the media. He makes money off of the media. This is insanity, let alone the fact that you're supposed to be figuring out how to fight ISIS. You said you'd figure out the difference between the Shia and the Sunni as soon as you got into office. The fact that you didn't know that and ran for president and bragged about it is unreal. But how are you going to figure out world affairs and whether we're going to get attacked or not while you're still busy running a TV show while being our president? Insanity.
He's not interested.
Not
he
interested
just
in
doesn't care.
You know, there's other story now in the news about how he'll only do one intelligence briefing per week. He's supposed to get it every day. He's the president-elect. I can't be bothered with figuring out national security. I gotta figure out who's going to be on the next Apprentice. By the way, this is a terrible political mistake for him.
Yes.
Because if we get attacked, yeah, he'll do the scapegoating and he'll put random Muslims in jail and torture random people, etc. But people are going to say, you were doing what while we were being attacked?
Yeah.
You were executive producing a frickin' reality show? And we got attacked on your watch? He's playing with fire. He thinks he can shoot somebody in Fifth Avenue and get away with it. And okay, well, that kind of hubris leads to epic collapses.
Now he feels like he can shoot a show on Fifth Avenue and no one will notice.
Literally.
Yeah, and also, like, it's not just that he's supposed to get the security briefing every day, but wouldn't any of us in this room want to get the security briefing every day? Like, you care enough about this country and the world and your desire to lead it that you will go through a multi-year process of intense criticism from every angle just to get in there. And now you have exposed to you the secrets of the U.S., the secrets of all of our intelligence services. You have access to the Roswell files and information on other countries, Russia, everything they're doing. You can find anything you want. I'll be there on Fridays. I got to do a TV show. It just shows, like, I always knew that he was incurious, that he's not interested in educating himself, but at least shouldn't he have the desire to know the secrets, to know what's really going on? And he doesn't even care about that. He's going to be looking over scripts.
The guy who wrote the book, Art of the Deal, said that the way he wrote the book, he says that he didn't have an attention span. He couldn't stop for 1 minute and concentrate. So that's why these guys come in with the briefings, and he's just like, I can't listen. I can't even. He doesn't have the ability to pay attention. Yeah, he's got to be tweeting the whole time. He doesn't have the ability. And yes, this is bad for the country. And in a sense, but it's he cannot help but be himself. So he reveals himself at every turn. He's not even president yet, and he's already screwing up in major ways and politically. And this doesn't help him. Nobody's gonna think that's a good thing. Nobody who voted for him is gonna say, yeah, I hope he stays being the Apprentice guy. Yeah. And right.
Well, Jimmy, you want to see how they're going to defend him, or how they're attempting to already?
Yeah.
So we have video. Kellyanne Conway, who is she has a tough job because I'm sure she gets paid well, but to have to go on TV and constantly chip away at your self-respect and just lie like a demon. But anyway, she's going to do that, and wait until you see how she justifies him retaining a part-time job as he's president.
The fact is that he is conferring with all types of experts to tell him what he is allowed to do and not to do as the President of the United States. And if this is one of the approved activities, then perhaps he'll consider staying on.
Yeah, no, and I'm not saying that it's not allowed. I'm just saying that every hour he devotes to Celebrity Apprentice is an hour that he's not devoting to fill in the blank, jobs, national security, whatever.
Well, okay, but were we so concerned about the hours and hours and hours spent on the golf course of the current president? I mean, presidents have a right to do things in their spare time or their leisure time. I mean, nobody objects to that, and there's
Wait
been
a second.
a lot of time
Everybody
spent.
objected to that. I mean, I heard you object to Mr. Obama playing golf. Will Mr. Trump not be playing golf for the next 4 years?
Well, maybe he will be. It certainly seems like there's a lot of time to do it based on recent precedent while you're president of the United States.
So, but this is not his leisure time. It's one of his jobs.
It's a second
job. He kept a job. He's got, that's the title is executive producer. That's not emeritus. That's not leisure. It's not knitting. It's a job. So imagine for a second. She brought up Obama. Okay. Imagine for a second. Obama said, hey, you know what? While I'm president, I'm also going to produce a reality show. I'm going to be the executive producer of Keeping Up with the Kardashians. What do you think Republicans would have done? Okay, the press would have, ripped him to shreds. But Republicans, how dare he? He has besmirched the office of the presidency. What little respect he has for the White House and the Oval Office. We knew it. We shouldn't have let this guy in. Look at this guy. Trump does it. They're like, yeah, well, of course. I mean, he's got a reality show to run.
Obama golfed. I mean, come on.
Imagine if Barack Obama didn't want to take the national security briefings.
Oh my God! Leading from behind. That's why ISIS rose up.
If he sighed during a national security briefing, they'd want him sent back to his home country.
Yes.
Yeah.
Great points all around. And I just got to say, if I was the president-elect, I would be knee-deep in what are the different factions in Syria. That's fascinating. How in the world do we solve that riddle? My God, what are we going to do if North Korea does something crazy? How do we limit the damage there? Yada, yada. Okay, I love that stuff. So that's why I cover it. He ran for president not because he loves that stuff, but because he loves ego and power, and not because he actually wants to solve any of those problems. And you know it too. Even if you're a Trump supporter, you know it. He did it for his ego. He doesn't care about it. That's why he's not taking the briefings. But my God, the first thing I do is, who killed JFK? Right? Do you have no curiosity? Okay, all right, you can't. It hurts your head to figure out factions in Syria. But don't you want to know what the government secrets are? No, I'll get back next Friday. Come back next Friday, okay? Right. Okay. So who's going to be on the next season? Let's go now. Let's have fun. Let's do this for the next 3 days. Sad, baby. If you're not a member of the Young Turks and you're not getting the whole 2-hour show ad-free, you know what you're going to be thinking? Don't say I didn't warn you. TYTnetwork.com/join. Go.